United States ruled that most of the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration are not in accordance with the laws. US President Donald Trump has lambasted the ruling once again and has warned that without these tariffs, the United States would be quote unquote completely destroyed. He stated that its military power would be instantly obliterated. He had made this post on Truth Social and has also criticized the judges for their 7-4 decision on the matter. Meanwhile, he has extended thanks to one Democratic and Obama-appointed judge who he said voted to save the country. We do know that the federal court had ruled that Trump's tariffs were illegal, although they did not put a stay on them, giving the Trump administration time to file an appeal in the US Supreme Court and challenge this. The US Supreme Court is currently conservative leaning, but there is a battle that's also raging as far as the Federal Reserve is concerned. So it remains to be seen what exactly and where exactly will the US Supreme Court rule towards. Will they favor the Trump administration as far as this particular aspect of the US fiscal policy is concerned or not, comes into fray. Meanwhile, at the SCO leaders meeting in Tianjin, we've learned that the member states have signed the declaration adopting the SCO development strategy until 2035. The member states have signed a total of 24 documents strengthening cooperation in economy, security, innovation and regional development. That's not all. Member states in this document have unilaterally opposed coercive measures, including those of an economic nature that contravene the UN Charter and other norms of international law, the rules and principles of the World Trade Organization, the damaging of the interests of international security, including food and energy, that are negatively affecting the global economy, undermining fair competition, and hindering international cooperation and the achievement of UN Sustainable Development Goals. So all of this is taking place simultaneously. I'd like to rope in Mr. Shyam Batra into the discussion over here. Trump does not seem to be backing down, even as a federal court has ruled that his tariffs are illegal. Meanwhile, we've seen the SCO member states, all 10 of them, they've not named Donald Trump, but they have indirectly called out his tariffs. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you think the US Supreme Court, which is currently conservative leaning, would it favor Trump? Because that has far-reaching implications, since it's the US Congress that has been granted the constitutional power to vote on tariffs. And how do you think the SCO member states will proceed from here?
Well, I think that the tariffs in USA are they've exceeded more than expectations. A lot of the countries in the world are not going to be able to cope with 100% and 50% and stuff like this. And they're all split up into different portions as well, from steel to cars. So it makes it very difficult. But I think that the Supreme Court has given him a chance to exemplify and explain as to why. I think he should really bring these tariffs down, because isn't it common sense to use economic flavors to entice countries to come and do business with you, when at the end of the day, ultimately, who is it going to affect? The people, everybody, industry, business. And why is he going to collect all of the money to run the country when the country's getting vast amounts of money, but the tariffs from the various different countries are going to be super affected? And like, some countries, if they like, for example, they've done an agreement with the European Union about the tariffs, saying no tariffs, we're going to do special deals with each other. It doesn't actually sit well, does it? So I think the judge has picked it up, and I'm not sure whether the judge will side with him, but he's clearly giving him an opportunity to make an appeal. So if that does go through, I don't think the judge is going to side with him personally.
All right, I'd also like to go across to Mr. Ladislav Zemenek. What's also interesting is that the Chinese President Xi Jinping has mooted the idea of creating an SCO development bank. Now, this has been agreed upon by all member states of the SCO. He's had this vision for years, and he's also highlighted taking forward the BRI project. Now, of the member states, we do know that India is not a part of this project, but the other member states have reaffirmed their support for the Belt and Road Initiative, noting that the ongoing work on the joint implementation of this project, including efforts to align the development of the Eurasian Economic Union and the BRI, are well underway. So how, in your assessment, does Xi Jinping now eye using the SCO development bank that they've now agreed to create in order to further this initiative?
It's important to take into account the fact that China is trying to promote its economic interests and economic vision through a wide range of different instruments and initiatives, including, you mentioned it, the Belt and Road Initiative, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a lot of bilateral and multilateral platforms. And since the beginning, China is using or is doing its best to promote economic dimension and develop economic cooperation within the SCO, which is different from approach, for example, from Russia, which was more focused on security traditionally since for many years, and now we can observe that there is an increasing understanding among the SCO member states regarding different aspects of relations and cooperation, including security matters, including economic issues, and undoubtedly the establishment of SCO Development Bank is one of the examples of economic cooperation which would be welcomed by many members of the SCO, and not only by them, but also by dialogue partners. We should mention that SCO is not limited only on member states, 10 member states, but also to dialogue partners and observer states. So the community, SCO community, is much broader, and most of these countries are interested in developing economic cooperation face to face with the increasing trend or pressure on protectionism and unilateralism, especially from the United States under Donald Trump. So this pressure motivates the SCO community to strengthen and reinforce economic cooperation among themselves, and lift barriers in trade and economic exchange, and facilitate a mutually beneficial economic cooperation.
All right, Mr. Zemenek, I'd like to thank you. I'd also like to thank Mr. Dr. Rao and Mr. Batra for taking out time and interacting with us on NewsX World as we track these developments from the SCO summit. We're also getting more news. We're now learning that a crucial bilateral is underway between Iran and Pakistan. This is taking place on the sidelines of the SCO summit. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is meeting Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. Pezeshkian is present at the SCO summit. He's also slated to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin very, very shortly. You can see those visuals on your screen. In fact, both leaders have underscored the importance of bilateral ties. They're looking at enhancing political and economic cooperation. Shehbaz Sharif has stated that Pakistan is committed to peace and stability in the region, and dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward to reduce tensions and achieve lasting stability. Both sides are reviewing progress in bilateral cooperation. They've expressed satisfaction over the trajectory of relations. Meanwhile, Iranian President Pezeshkian has conveyed his condolences over the loss of lives and property caused by the recent floods in Pakistan, and has assured that Iran stands by Pakistan's side in this hour of difficulty. So that is the bilateral meeting that is taking place between Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. All right, viewers, shifting focus away from the SCO summit towards some